Alright guys, welcome back to Ozark Mountain Garage. Just wanted to touch base with you, show you what we've been doing, what I've been doing. I got the rear end 4-link brackets in and the back brace on. I've got the bearing carrier welded on each end. Also put a filler plug towards the top. I've got a new weld-in vent plug that's going to go in it, and also a drain plug. I've got a drain plug already I'm going to put in the bottom, but I've got to put my triangulated brace welded into the bottom. Before I do that, I'm almost ready to put my brackets here. The brackets go attached to the frame in. But first I want to get everything leveled up and get the body mounted to the frame, which I've done. I put some, maybe a little harder to see in here. Come down here, you'll see some angle iron brackets right in here on each side. See if I can come back up. That's it. You can see the angle iron bracket right there at the front. And then also I've got two brackets welded in the back. These are temporary to the frame, so that the body is attached to the frame and I can start lining everything else up and get the stance I'm looking for. So what we have, let me back off over here, show you a little bit. Anyway, I've got the front end, I've got just temporarily bolted up. I've got just one bolt in the back of each fender. And then the main bracket, just got the hood sitting on there for now. But the main bracket in the front is what holds your radiator in. It also ties the front end together. And so what I've done is I've actually had to cut several inches off the height of it, because I am going to have a lower stance than what it came with originally. So I've cut that bracket down there laying on the ground. Cut that off. I'm going to cut a little bit more off of it just to get the stance that I'm looking for. More of a low profile stance. Also, I've got to I've got to bolt everything together at some point. I've got to line it up better. There's, it had been hit in the front, and I had to come back and weld some spots on that front fender. And so everything's a little tweaked along with the hood and the way it sits on the cab. So let me go back up here. Sorry. Anyway, it doesn't line up very good at all right now, but the goal is get everything lined up good with no gaps, and bolt it all together, and make sure I got the stance where I want it. Because what's cool about the 1940, the bottom of the front fender sits up about 4 inches higher than the edge of the back edge of the fender. Which is kind of cool, because it's I think it'll look really good when I drop the front end down, because that front end's going to come down quite a bit and the back end's got to come up a little bit. So it's going to have more of that old school hot rod look, as it's going to be sitting up quite a bit higher than the front end. But I didn't want to, I want to be able to use the stock rear fenders, so I was limited on how much I can cut out and still use those fenders without having the tires stick way to the inside. I don't want that. I want the tires to stick out right up to the edge of the fender. But anyway, that's kind of where we're at right now. So my goal is to get everything lined up a little better. I need to build some brackets to attach it to the frame, and then at that point I can drop the front end of the frame down, kind of get everything lined up with the size of tires and rims I'm going to run, where the brackets, where the front spindle is going to weld. Just kind of get all that set up. And then what I want to do is, if possible, I'm going to, well, I know it's possible. Anything's possible with a cutting torch welding machine. So my goal is to make a solid front end off of all the original parts, which I have the original grill over here. See if I can show you that real quick. Got the original grill sitting right here, and it's not real heavy. So I'm going to, and the hood's actually surprisingly light for being the original hood. But so my goal is to bolt all that together and then make a flip top front end that's also removable. So I'll have to design some brackets so that it can flip all the way up and stay there on its own and be secure, or I can just pick it up, you know, say a foot, lift it up a foot to 6 inches from the back, and then slide it out the front, slide it off. So that's the goal, is to build a flip top front end on this thing. I think it'd be really cool, but I still need to, I'm going to drop the front end probably another inch on the frame there, just to give it a more aggressive look on the front end. And then I needed to do that so that when I get ready to mount my motor, I've got to get some dimensions on the intake that I'm going to run. But that way it'll give me a better idea of exactly, let's see if I can kick that up, exactly how much room I've got underneath there to put the motor, you know, as far as the height of the motor. Because running for street racing and back of the track racing, from what I understand, you want to have the motor as high as possible so that the weight transfers is better and you get better traction in the back. I'm also looking at putting a wing on the back, like Justin Shear, Big Chief from Street Outlaws. He's now got a big wing on the Crow. And there's another guy just wrecked his truck. A guy ran into him, but he's been doing really well. Hustling Horsepower, I believe is his website. Anyway, he's got a big wing on the, or had a big wing on the back of the truck. And man, that thing really hooked up well. So, you know, my goal is to run a big tire. I'm gonna probably put a big wing on the back so I can get as much traction as possible, regardless of where I'm racing it. Because I really would hate to wad this thing up. I mean, it's been beat up quite a bit already. It's definitely not perfect, but you know, I'm hoping to only build this thing once. I don't want to, you know, get this thing all built, get out on the track. Of course, I'm sure nobody does, but get it all built and then get out there and smack it into a pole or something, and then have to try to find another 40 to build. That would not be good. So anyway, that's where we're at. Apologize for the video. It's hard to see in here. My shop's so small. It's hard to get in here and get moved around. But just wanted to give you a heads up. I haven't done a lot of videos lately. Just did one recently, but wanted to let you know that I've got let everybody know that's watching that we've got the body attached to the frame now. I'm going to get the front end all bolted together and get some brackets built for it, temporary brackets, and then drop that front end down, kind of get a feel for exactly what it's going to look like at its ride height, and go from there. I should have some chrome moly coming in soon, and hopefully I would love to have this thing. I don't know if it's going to be possible. Really going to be determined how quickly I can get this motorhome sold, this diesel pusher out here, but hoping to have it ready to sell right before Christmas. But yeah, I'd love to have this thing together by April to go to Centerville and race either in April or May. So that's the goal. That's where we're at. Got a long ways to go. So hope you enjoyed the video, the content. Please like and subscribe. Appreciate you watching, and have a good day. All right, back in the shop. Got the front end bolted on, and the hood's just sitting on there. I had to modify the latch, or not the latch, but the brackets that hold it on. But yeah, I don't have the headlights on yet. I'll do that last. But what I'm going to do is I went ahead and cut the radiator mount that holds the whole front end together in the front. basically, bolts it all together. I've cut that down a couple of inches just to give it the stance I'm looking for, because the frame is the body's dropped down over the frame. So sticks. I think the bottom of the frame sticks out about a 1/2 inch where it's going to stick out. But yeah, so my next goal is to build a flip top front end, which should be fun. Should be a challenge. Yeah, I'm gonna modify the fenders a little bit. These back fenders where the, what do you call it, running boards attached. I'm gonna trim off a couple inches off the back so it's flush. I'm not running running boards. And then right here where it attaches to the body, I'll trim that to come around flush and tie into the piece that goes up over the tire. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at. You've got a thick rubber gasket that goes back here, runs all the way across. But yeah, it's coming along, man. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to have the majority of the body sitting on the frame or actually attached to the frame, and got the front end back together just to see how that's going to look. So yeah, it's coming along good, man. Thanks for watching Ozark Mountain Garage, and we'll keep you up to date.